Hey gaited horse riders, this is Ivy Scheck-Snyder here, and I want to talk about the benefits, again, of head down. Okay, so this horse right here, you can see how he starts out kind of fast, but over a 3-day clinic, so 3 hours of training each day, he went from having a high head, pacing, kind of going fast, and the rider, if the rider had loosened the reins at all, he wouldn't have slowed down, to the last day he had a beautiful low headset, he started to have a beautiful gait, and he was happy to slow down and walk and gait slowly on a loose rein. Okay, so that is what I want you to learn here. Not only does the head down help the pacey horses, it helps nervous horses relax, but it has a direct correlation or causation to getting a horse to slow down. A lot of times horses are going fast because they don't feel like they can balance. They feel they have to keep going faster and faster to maintain their balance. So here you're gonna see the 3 days, kind of the progress he made. And you can check out here if you want a link to the free video on how to train your horse to drop his head, and it'll be in the description below. So check that out, it's totally free. You just sign up with your email, that's it, and you get access to that. And so I want you to see the benefits of that. And I think this horse is just absolutely gorgeous once he starts carrying his head much nicer. So here you have a horse with a high head, pacing, and going fast. This horse was not comfortable slowing down. And again, I want to teach you that you can, just by asking the head to go down, you can get not only gait and relaxation, but you can get quite a good measure of speed control. This horse, his owner thought he was going slowly and thought this was gaiting, and it's really just pacing, occasionally a stepping pace, and it's pretty fast. Like, this horse didn't want to slow down at all. Alright, so here I immediately start giving the horse a loose rein. If he speeds up, and only when he does, I go ahead and pull back on the reins. When he does keep his head low and slow down, then I immediately release the reins. So here I'm holding light pressure. I ask him to bring his nose in. As soon as he slows down or drops his head, notice I let the reins slide through my fingers there. And he starts to drop his head. And just for a little bit, he has a little bit more engagement from the back end, which is a direct result of him dropping his head. All we've done is ask him to put his head lower, and he's done it. We did change the bit for the first day, but it didn't make any measurable difference, so we switched back to his regular shanked bit for the rest of the training. Again, notice right there, he brought his nose in, and I released the reins. And notice how he immediately starts dropping his head. One thing that's cool is, usually within 1 or 2 hours of doing this training, the horses start to like putting their heads down and slowing down. So not only do they put their head down, but they also would rather slow down and take a break rather than speed up, which is very, very nice for this kind of training. Notice that I'm stopping and praising. So as soon as he starts to make a little bit of progress, always stop and praise. It's really important. Look at that nice gait that he has right there. This is the second day. He still has a little bit of trouble maintaining the slower speed and the balance and the head down, but he's made huge progress from day 1 to day 2. And each day is only an hour-long lesson. So he did really well. Here we go. I believe this is day 3. We started in the indoor. Look at that low head and those loose reins. I mean, that's just beautiful. Look at the hind end engagement, how far under his hind leg is stepping. The owner had to learn to give those loose reins. It's really good to do that practice in an indoor arena where you can feel comfortable. And again, the lower the better. And for this horse, we didn't even need to use any ground poles. As soon as he started dropping his head, he started gaiting, which is awesome. And lots of horses do that. Look at him just stretch down on his own when he stops. This is exactly what you want. And it's amazing how so many horses, just by dropping their heads, will willingly slow down instead of rushing and speeding up. Again, part of it is balance. When the horses have their heads up, sometimes they're trying to keep themselves from falling. Again, notice how much I let him stop and stand and rest. That's part of the training process, is that when he does something well, he gets to have a break. So if he puts his head up, I will immediately ask him to drop it. And once he drops it, I will give him a loose rein. Now, if he has a loose rein and he's got his head down, but if he starts speeding up, I will slow him down. Because a lot of these horses, when they're beginning to gait, they have a hard time maintaining it at a fast speed. So you don't want to let them go too fast. So here now his owner is back on, so you can see that it's not just me riding. And she's asking for that lower head. And he's giving her a nice gait. I'd love to see the head a little lower, but it's very natural for where this horse's conformation is or how he's built. It's probably a really good headset for him. Again, I want to point out briefly that the nose has nothing to do with it. Whether his nose is in or out, it actually has way more to do with where his head is at, or how level his neck is. So here you can see it in slow motion. You can watch the 1, 2, 3, 4 timing of the footfalls. It's almost perfectly even, meaning we're getting a perfect saddle rack. We get a little bit of a head nod there, which just means that he's using his hind end pretty well. Though he is short striding a tiny bit with the back left, but not too much. And look at the bigger strides we're getting as he's using the hind end and lifting his back a little. Now you can see the reins occasionally have a little bit of tension on them, but she's not pulling to try to keep him slow. I would like to see a little more slack, but overall it's just a phenomenal change. And that's what you want to work toward with your gaited horses. More head down you do, the more loose rein you give, the more you stop and praise, and your horse won't take long before they start looking like this beautiful boy here. And one more shot of this really nice gait, really nice head carriage. Right there he starts to put his head up. You'll see my hands close on the reins a little. I say put your head down. As soon as he brings his nose in and starts to drop his head, you'll see the reins go slack again right there. I'll let the reins kind of slide through my fingers as he puts his head down. And you'll notice if you go back and watch the video that the lower his head is, the more he engages his hind end.